Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing for you guys my top 5 colorful palettes. So somebody had requested this in the last top 5 video, which was my top 5 palettes in general. So if you guys didn't see that one, I will link it right up here for you guys now to go and check it out. You can also feel free to go to my main page and check out my top 5 playlist, which I have going on the main page right now. So let's dive into these, shall we? Because there's 5 palettes here, and there's a lot to say about these 5 palettes. So I do want to say this right now. I tried not to pick palettes where too many of the shades were neutral. So I'm talking about anything with a lot of browns in it, regardless of if they're warm or cool tone. I tried to avoid a lot of browns, blacks, and whites. I tried to stick with more rainbow-looking palettes, a traditional intense colorful palette, if you know what I mean. So let's jump into these. I think I'm just gonna do them in the order I've got them here, because it's not like they're in any particular order. Let's be real. So the first palette I have is the Too Faced Clover palette. Too Faced is really good at creating adorable, cute looking, fun palettes, which is what I love about them. They do a good job of using colors that you don't normally pair together. Now, this is the most neutral, I think, of all the palettes, which is saying something. There are 3 brown shades in here, but I told myself if there was more than 25% neutrals, I wasn't going to use the palette. This one comes in under 25 for that. So you do have a range of shades here. You range from cool tones to warm tones to everything in between. And what makes this a good, I think, starter colorful palette is the fact that there are some neutrals in here. Not a whole bunch, just enough to make it easy for someone transitioning into more colorful eye looks. I think that the formula in this palette is on par with the rest of Too Faced Normal Collection. And I highly recommend that you guys try it out if you haven't already. The next palette I have here on top is strictly colors. This is the Kat Von D Pastel Goth palette. I feel like this palette was not mentioned enough for a lot of people when it was first released. It's a unique concept of being an entire colorful palette, but also matte. Now granted, there is a white and there is a gray in here. I'm not counting gray as a neutral because typically when you're looking in the makeup world, neutrals are going to be more browns, beiges. So I will give it the fact that it's got a white, but this is actually a very easy to use palette. I've done a couple tutorials using it in the past. I will link up here my review video. That is from, God, what, January of 2015? Maybe 16. I don't know anymore. When I first tried this out and reviewed it, I really like this palette. It's a good, again, if you're someone who wants to try more colors, but you maybe already have a matte natural palette that you like, this is maybe a good one to add to it. That's still going to be mattes, so it's a little bit more easy to work with. The next one is just going to be a sucker punch of color, and that is the Juvia's Place Zulu palette. I do understand that Juvia's Place was originally designed for women of color, and I think that's more power to them. These are very beautiful palettes, and I had to pick one. I told myself I wasn't going to have 5 palettes, because I could have just done 5 Juvia's Place palettes, because they're all very bright and colorful. It's just the way that they're made. But this one is my favorite. I've done a couple of looks using it, including last winter I did a Mardi Gras tutorial using this palette, which if I can, I will link up here for you guys to check out. But I love this palette. I think each row, each little quad can work well by itself, and that's what I love about it. It's a very cool rainbow take on a palette. The next one is a little bit more pastel, similar to the Kat Von D Pastel Goth, but this one's got more colors to pick from. This is the Sigma Creme de Couture palette, and this one, first off, I love the marbling of the packaging. It's adorable. And I also do admit that there are 2 neutral shades in here. I will grant you the brown, and I'll grant you this one up here. These are kind of the neutrals, but the rest are very colorful and bright. Some of my favorite shades in here are Apricot Flower, Ginger Pumpkin, Elderberry, and Citron Pistachio. Oh, wow. Wait, do those all have 2 words and I just never realized that till now? Huh, I guess they have. Wow. especially this green color down here. I love it. This is, again, a very simple, easy to use. They're well pigmented. So even though the pans are tiny, I mean, these are very small pans, you are able to go the extra mile with them because they are well pigmented, but they're not so overly pigmented that you struggle to blend them out. And that's kind of why I like it as well as a beginner palette. Now for the last one, and this is just the one on the bottom because it's the biggest and the heaviest. And this is the Sephora Pro Editorial Palette. Now, these Pro palettes are pricier. They are the most expensive out of all of these options. This is, I think, a $65, maybe $70 palette. Maybe it's $60. It's somewhere in that $60 to $70 range. But these are fantastic shadows. If you're gonna buy something from the Sephora makeup collection in general, I think this is definitely worth checking out. You get in here, I'm gonna pull out my sheet of paper with all the names on it, but you get a gorgeous mirror in here. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, the only real neutral shade in here is the black, and then I will also give you, where's the other one? I think it was just the black in this one, but even this black has got sparkles in it. They're kind of hard to see on camera, but there are little tiny sparkles in this black. They're little kind of gunmetal flecks in there, but I love the rainbow attitude of this palette. I think if you are someone who really wants to take the full plunge into a colorful palette, this is one to try. And I don't think I've done a full look using this palette, so if you guys are maybe interested, I don't think I'll do one in December, but maybe come January I'll do a tutorial using this palette. Sound interesting? Tell me down below if you think so. Okay guys, so those are my top 5 palettes. I really did have a struggle trying to come up with 5 with my parameter of there can be no more than 25% of the shadows neutral in the palette. And that was really hard to do because when you kind of look at some of the more popular colorful palettes, a lot of them have a lot of neutrals. So you're able to work with colors and neutrals, especially for beginners. So it's great that there's a lot of options out there for people who are newer to colorful eyeshadows. But I think some of the ones that I've given you guys in my list today are able to be used without a neutral palette, just because I think if you're gonna go with colors, go with the colors. Do it. Go for it. Be crazy. It's loads of fun to do that. I know I've got a couple of colorful tutorials. I will link my tutorial playlist up here for you guys. One of my favorite ones is one I did last fall. It was a neon pink eye. I am not a fan of pink in general in clothing or in makeup. It's just not really my thing, but I love how that look turned out. So I will link it. I will link the playlist up here and you guys can go check that out. It was a neon pink eye tutorial. And I'm really pleased with how that one turned out. So, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. This is just a quick top 5. I feel like I didn't want to beat around the bush this time. I wanted to tell you exactly what I loved about the palettes and why I thought you should try them. So, be sure, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below. It's right down here. Go on, guys. Hit the button. Subscribe. It's free. It doesn't hurt you. It just helps me. And make sure if you guys enjoy these top 5 videos that you're giving them a thumbs up. That way I can tell what videos you guys are enjoying seeing from me. If you guys would prefer to see some tutorials with this palette, tell me about that down below. I don't think I have one up for the Sephora and the Too Faced. I think I've got one up for the other 3. So if you guys want to see tutorials or a specific color that you would love to see an eye look for and I haven't already done one, tell me down below. I'm totally open to suggestions from you guys. That's what you're here for. I'm creating this content for you. Yes, it's for me, but I want you guys to enjoy what I'm putting out there for you guys. So subscribe, give the thumbs up, leave the comment, and that's everything. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!